years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion? That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. That's why they can offer unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a blazing fast 5G network for just $25 a month. Save an additional 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say the words micro. That's pound 250, micro.
You're great at protecting your own personal information. You probably even use things like two-factor authentication, strong passwords, VPN. But as much as you try to be in control of how your information is protected, there's lots of places that also have it. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every single second for identity threats. If your identity is stolen, a LifeLock specialist is going to help solve the identity theft issues, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% off your first year with a promo code Beck at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
KSYL.
Louisiana Radio Network Sports, I'm Colleen Crane. For the first time since 2018, the Saints lost their season opener to Arizona 20-13 as a potential game-tying drive ended at the Cardinals' 18-yard line. The defense played well, sacking Arizona quarterback Kyler Murray 5 times. 36-year-old Cam Jordan had a sack and a half and liked the fight the team showed in trying to come back.
Like I said, I love being a part of the team. I kept smiling through the whole fourth quarter because I knew we were going to come back. If you see pictures out there, I was smiling. I was laughing. I was like, no, the energy was high. The vibes are great. You knew we were coming back. And we did, until we didn't.
Spencer Rattler threw for 214 yards, but averaged less than 5 yards a pass. The Saints were penalized 13 times for 89 yards, and the offense committed 8 of those penalties. New Orleans will have to clean up those mistakes to avoid an 0-2 start. They'll host the 49ers Sunday, who beat Seattle 17-13. LRN Sports. LSU remains ranked 3rd in the AP poll and 4th in the coaches poll, despite a lethargic 23-7 win over the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs on Saturday night. LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier threw for 237 yards, but his longest completion was just 23 yards. He also threw an interception and was sacked 3 times. Coach Brian Kelly was disappointed with the run game, held to less than 4 yards a carry. BK made it clear he expects better execution because they have the players to do something special this season.
This is all in on everybody. This isn't just, well, our coaches stink or our players stink. This is everybody collectively did not live up to the standard that we have set here. And you can only do that when you believe that you have more. We have more. And that didn't show up tonight, and that's disappointing.
The Cajuns beat McNeese 34-10. ULM lost 73-0 to Alabama. Southeastern Louisiana beat Murray State, while Nichols, Northwestern State, Grambling, and Southern lost. LRN.
KSYL.
It's our 2025 Scam Week series. And this week, I spotlight the biggest scams that cost real people real money. I'm Kim Commando for Oracle. In business, you can have better, cheaper, and faster with Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. Try OCI for free at oracle.com/Kim. At number 1, Google Form scams. You get an email or message with a secure Google Form link. It looks official, but the form is a trap to grab your logins, financial info, or even your social security number. Next up, fake Google security alerts. They say your Gmail is compromised and you need to click immediately to protect your account. Don't. Go straight to your Google account settings instead. And finally, QR code scams. You scan a code at a restaurant, a parking lot, or even taped to a gas pump. The link looks harmless, but it can steal your payment info or download malware in seconds. Stop, think. When in doubt, don't click, don't scan, and don't fill it out. Get my free newsletter now at getkim.com. In business, they say you can have better, cheaper, or faster, but you only get to pick 2. But what if you could have all 3 at the same time? That's exactly what some of the world's most innovative brands and AI tech companies have since they've upgraded to the next generation of the cloud, Oracle Cloud Infrastructure. OCI is the blazing fast platform for your infrastructure, database, application development, and AI needs, where you can run any workload in a high availability, consistently high performance environment and spend less than you would with other clouds. So how is it faster? OCI's block storage gives you more operations per second, cheaper, OCI costs up to 50% less for computing, 70% less for storage, and 8% less for networking. Better, in test after test, OCI customers report lower latency and higher bandwidth versus other clouds. This is the cloud built for AI and all your biggest workloads. Right now, with zero commitment, try OCI for free. Head to oracle.com/Kim. That's oracle.com/Kim.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 27 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Well, hey, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Talkback here on a Monday. I'm Al Quartermont, along with Stephen Maxwell, as usual, and glad to have you with us here today, and very glad, as we get our show underway, to have with us in the studio the superintendent of the State Department of Education. That's Dr. Cade Brumley. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, thanks, Daz. I appreciate being back with you all.
Yeah, what
Absolutely.
a pleasant surprise to have you off the bat here on a Monday morning. You're in town for a conference today.
Well, there's no place I'd rather be than with you guys this morning. Yeah, and you mentioned it. So we're bringing together several hundred of our closest friends here in Alexandria today. So we're hosting, alongside the Louisiana Supreme Court, what we're calling our Solution Summit. And it is strictly focused on school attendance. What we know to be true, and particularly over the course of the pandemic, was that school attendance in the state of Louisiana was not what we needed it to be. And we are just trying to call everybody together today, from school system leaders to judges to DAs around the state, to talk about this problem and plan to make it better.
How big of a problem has it become?
Well, in Louisiana, you know that we have really improved on academic rankings. Our nation's ranking is now 32nd in the country. We were 49th in 2019.
Wow.
But we've had a few stories that have indicated that, you know, that would even be better. We've had a few research studies, rather, that have said that would have even been better if it weren't for some of the problems we're facing with attendance. And so in our state, right now, about 2 in 10 kids are chronically absent, meaning that at any point in the year, they've missed about 10% of the school year. So that's about 2 in 10 kids. And about 4 in 10 kids are truant, meaning that for a semester, they've missed about 5 days. And so both of those numbers need to go in a better direction. And so that's one of the reasons we're just calling everybody together today. Really thankful to be working alongside the Louisiana Supreme Court and the credibility that they can lend to this as well. And we think we'll make progress.
What are some ways that you would like to kind of change that narrative around here? I know Grant Parish was trying to do the 4 under 4 program that the superintendent wants to do. Like, if you can miss less than 4 days, that's their goal, and you get some sort of prize or something. What are some ways you hope to address that issue?
Well, I think that school attendance is very much something that requires local solutions. I don't necessarily believe that there's a statewide solution for improving school attendance. I think local communities have to determine how to do this on their own with the support of the state. And so that's why the format of our event today, our Solution Summit, we have take any particular parish in the state. We have their school system leadership. We may have their DA, their district attorney. We may have their juvenile judge or their district judge. We have them seated at the table together. And we'll work through a series of activities over the course of the day where they can further collaborate and think through these various issues on what might make sense within their local communities with the challenges that they face, but also what services are available in those local communities that can go to supporting the effort.
And obviously, you got to have the kids in the seats to be able to learn. But as you mentioned, Louisiana's been making some incredible strides since 2019, going from 49 to 32. What do you attribute that to mostly?
Well, we're the most rapidly improving state in the country for academic outcomes. That's why Louisiana was the first stop on U.S. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon's tour of returning education to the states. And so, again, we've gone from 49th in the country to 32nd, led the country for 4 straight years on literacy growth, top 5 for math. So a lot of good things happening there. I would say first and foremost, I have to credit the teachers across the state. The teachers have done really amazing work. They've absorbed some of the shifts. And we've also been able to cut vacancies through our Let Teachers Teach effort, which is about removing excessive trainings that teachers have to face, removing excessive bureaucracies, being firmer on schools being peaceful and orderly, classrooms that aren't disrupted so teachers can teach and kids can learn. So I think that has been really important, more work to do there, but also just to return to the basics, teaching kids how to read with a phonics-based approach, going back to foundational math skills, not complicating the system, but making sure kids in those early grades know how to read and do math. And then as they matriculate through the system, if they graduate May 15th, making sure they're ready to do something on May 16th.
I'm kind of curious too, because I haven't been in school in a while, or I don't have a kid in school. Like, what specifically kind of changed with teachers' approach and how they're teaching some of that curriculum?
Well, it gets pretty wonky, but I'll explain it like this. Over the last couple of decades, teaching kids to read, for instance, there were these multiple approaches, some of them weird and crazy, the way in which we were thinking about teaching kids to read. And by whenever I say we, I don't mean me, but some of that was happening. And what we did was we really focused back on a phonics-based approach and understanding that, you can break a word down, you can put it back together, you can put words together, they make sentences. And if we can teach kids how to deconstruct words, reconstruct them, then that leads to better fluency and ultimately more vocabulary, more comprehension. And so that's really the approach that we've undertaken in reading. And I would say in math, returning just to those foundational skills, multiplication tables, measurement, fractions, those types of things that aren't complicated. They just haven't received the attention maybe that they deserve to receive over some time. So we've really just narrowed that focus of what we would like to do and what we're asking people to do in the schools.
If you just tuned in, we're talking with Dr. Cade Brumley. He is the superintendent of schools here in the state of Louisiana, in town for a conference today that will be focusing on attendance, improving that in the school system as well. I know a lot of our audience is probably resonating with what you're talking about, getting back to those basics, those fundamentals, phonics, the tables you're talking about in math. And what about as far as, I know that there have been some changes to things like social studies and history, how that's being taught in the state as well?
Well, we put together what we call our Freedom Framework for history and civics education. Really, I think it's the best in the country. We have other states that are contacting us. It goes back to foundational documents, primary source documents, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, some of those most important people, places, and papers of our country's history. And so for kindergarten through third grade now, in what I guess we call social studies, kids learn the American story. And it is those people, those places, those papers. When they go to fourth and fifth grade, they'll learn world history. From sixth to eighth grade, they essentially learn 1776 or pre-1776 all the way through 2008. And it has Louisiana history incorporated on a chronological order as it makes sense. Then in high school, students have to take civics and pass a civics test in order to graduate, as well as take U.S. history. And it ends with students kind of contemplating the idea of American exceptionalism and what does that mean in our country, which we think are all really good things. And I'll add to this. We put in place this test for civics when they are in high school that they need to pass. And students who master that content, students who come through that test, they've mastered it, they qualify for what we call a freedom seal on their diploma. So it's just an embossed golden seal, and it signifies their level of mastery of civics. And this qualifies them to, during their high school graduation, during that ceremony, it qualifies them to walk with a red, white, and blue honor cord, which is a cool thing that we've started doing just to recognize students in our state that are graduating high school with that really strong level of proficiency in civics.
Wow.
Was that a subject that was kind of being neglected over the years, you think?
Well, I mean, I penned an article on this a couple of years back in a national article, and I believe that the country's lack of teaching kids the history of our country and the civics that underpins that really is a national security risk, because you can't understand the complications that may exist today or those tomorrow if you don't have a firm understanding of A, what's happened in the past, but also a really good understanding of the way in which our government operates. And I think if you're confused about those things, it can create a risk to our country.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like when you look at low levels of voter turnout for elections and things like that, to me, you could probably tie that back to a lack of civics education for so many people growing up. They just don't care, but I think part of it is they just don't know as well.
Well, and one of the things I find a little alarming is what I would call action civics, which is where, there was an attempt to push kids out in communities to be civic oriented or have civic engagement, but there hadn't been enough work to actually have them understand the facts about civics, to understand the way in which things truly work. So you were sending kids out in communities to be, civic engaged or civic minded or civic oriented, but you weren't giving them the actual factual understanding of what that meant. So we're trying to balance out those things a little better and make sure before kids go out and they try to engage in those types of activities, they have a better sense of what that even means.
Sure.
That was the only subject I cared about, I think.
Civics?
Yeah.
Oh,
Let's not talk about my math, though.
Maybe you need to go back to the basics.
That's what I'm saying.
One other thing I wanted to kind of ask you about, we saw in the news kind of over the weekend, the state of Florida, their Surgeon General announced that they were going to end all vaccine mandates in everything for the whole state, and that would include schools. Do you foresee something like that ever happening here, and would you support something like that?
Well, I haven't been engaged in any conversations such as that most recently, and I think a lot of this got a great deal of attention during COVID with some of those particular vaccines. What my position has been and remains is that parents, and it's available under Louisiana law already. Parents have the ability to exempt their child from a vaccine if they're concerned about a particular vaccine. And so what we did a couple of years ago is we actually just stuck on our Louisiana Department of Education website the exemption form. So if a parent is concerned about vaccines or for religious reasons or otherwise they don't want their child to be vaccinated, they can fill out the exemption form, submit that to their local school system, and that child doesn't have to have a particular vaccine. I think that provided clarity because school systems then understood that they had to accept that exemption, and parents then had a formal way in which to apply for that exemption. Now, the caveat behind this is that the parents can exempt their child from vaccines, but if there is a health outbreak at the school and it's declared a health outbreak by the chief medical officer of the state, then that particular child would not be able to attend school while that outbreak is in place. And so I think that's all been really good. I appreciate the fact that in Louisiana we have those exemption laws, but I haven't heard any new conversations relative to this.
Gotcha.
They can't attend school. Is that like an online thing they'll have to do, or?
Well, any local system, would have to determine how they may handle those particular situations. But if a family decides to exempt from a vaccine, they can do that. The form's available on our website, or you can just Google vaccine exemption Louisiana. You'll probably find that, and the parent can submit that. But at the same time, with that, they have to realize that if there is a health outbreak, and the state's medical director suggests that is true, then the child would not be able to attend school.
Okay. We were talking about civics. I happen to notice in our show prep today, it is National Pledge of Allegiance Day. Do kids still do the Pledge of Allegiance every day in school?
Well, so a few things here. One, that is a local decision, whether or not they're doing that every single day. But what we have done is we worked with then State Representative and Chairman of Education, Lance Harris, who's now one of our State Board of Elementary and Secondary Education members, one of our BESE members. And at that point in time, we worked with him to file what's called Freedom Week in the state. So in conjunction with Constitution Day, which is basically the third Tuesday, I believe, every September, we use that whole week across the state. We call it Freedom Week, and we encourage schools and school systems to make sure that they're helping kids better understand the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, again, some of those primary source documents we talked about earlier. And actually, last year for Freedom Week, we worked in conjunction with the National World War II Center, and we had high school seniors that were going into the military to come in and do an enlistment ceremony. So it was a really cool event, a bit of an emotional event, but it was great. This year, we've been working over the last month to solicit entries on a Ronald Reagan oratory competition. And so this Freedom Week, and I guess next week, we'll be in Covington, Louisiana, which is the site of the world's tallest Ronald Reagan statue. You may not know that. So the world's tallest Ronald Reagan statue is in Covington, Louisiana, of all places. And so we'll have the finalists from our statewide competition go there. They'll participate in that. They'll give their speeches in front of the statue, and then the winners are going to receive an all-expense-paid trip to the Ronald Reagan Library out in California. So that's the way that we're celebrating Freedom Week this year.
Yeah, I had a chance to visit there a few years ago. It's incredible, and especially when you come out at the end and you're right there where Ronald and Nancy Reagan are buried on the property. So
right, yeah, I had an opportunity to be there as well a few years ago, and that's quite a view. You're looking over, I guess that's Simi Valley that you're looking over. It's pretty impressive.
I still have the shot glass he gave me.
Oh, did I get you that?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Okay.
Little Ronald Reagan shot glass.
I wasn't sure if you were talking about Al or Ronald Reagan.
No, it was like a presidential library shot glass.
Little souvenir that I bought at the gift shop. Probably cost $20 for.
Probably did. Probably up to 50 now.
Probably so. All right, Dr. Cade Brumley, he is the superintendent of schools here in the state of Louisiana, in town today for a conference focusing on attendance issues. Thank you so much for coming in and spending time with us.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yep, absolutely. We need to take a break, and more Talk Back coming up.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics with 27 providers and 3 locations. Someone can see you today. Stick around. More of Talkback is on the way.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. A major bank merger is in the works. PNC Financial agreed to buy First Bank for about $4.1 billion to add branches in Colorado and Arizona. PNC is based in Pittsburgh. It says that First Bank operates 95 branches in all and will make PNC the top lender in Denver by retail deposits. PNC plans to hold on to all of First Bank's locations. President Donald Trump's push to cut federal sales incentives and roll back emission standards is shaping up to be a multi-billion-dollar gift to Detroit car makers. They're now shifting investments into gasoline-fueled cars. Although not yet finalized, the deregulatory push is clearing the way for Detroit's legacy car makers and their traditional rivals to reallocate billions of dollars earmarked for EVs and other costs linked to pollution rules. Stock futures point to a higher open for Wall Street this morning. Inflation is in the spotlight this week with reports on both wholesale and consumer prices. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Well, a great start to our week, and as you get up and going this morning, it is just beautiful out there. Good morning. Our forecast calling for sunny today. High temps near 84. We'll see a northeast breeze at about 5 to 10. Clear skies and 59 for the overnight low tonight. And then more sunshine tomorrow. Temperatures start to creep back up. 89 should do it under sunny skies on Tuesday. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Now back to Talk Back, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome back on Talk Back on this Monday, this National Pledge of Allegiance Day Monday. Al Quartermont along with Stephen Maxwell. That was great stuff. Really enjoyed having Cade Brumley with us in the studio and looking forward to catching up again with him soon.
I think we've seen time and time again when you decentralize education, it seems to do a little bit better.
Absolutely.
Systems too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not even in America, other countries.
Right. By
the way, big John Wayne guy, that got me pumped up this morning.
Well, there's a longer version as well where he kind of breaks down all of that a little bit. Maybe you've heard that. But man, if we have time later in the show, perhaps.
Remember when they tried to cancel him?
Yes, because he did make some comments, I think like in Playboy magazine in 1969 or something.
I don't remember what the context was.
Oh my gosh, but yeah. So anyway, let's go to the phones here on Talkback on our BOM Bank Talk line. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. And what a great you quote from the Duke. I like when he says, sure, I salute the American flag. Can you tell me a better flag to salute?
Right.
But also, I really enjoyed that last speaker. I wish I would have him on regularly. He reminded me of something that happened very significantly last week. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but Tim Kaine, during a Senate Confirmation Committee meeting, he challenged the nominee because the nominee had said in several instances in the past.
Wasn't it the RFK hearing or no? Or was that a different
No, it wasn't the RFK hearing.
Okay.
It was a lesser. It was a Senate Confirmation Committee meeting hearing, and anyways, he said he challenged the nominee because the nominee had said that our rights come from our God, from Creator, God, and Tim Kaine said that's what the Muslims believe. You know, he said, and they use that belief to persecute Christians and Jews, and he attacked him on that. Now, I don't think Tim Kaine is anti-Muslim. I think if Tim Kaine read my posts on Facebook about Muslims using their holy book to justify killing Christians and Jews and other Muslims, he would call me Islamophobic. He would attack me. He's Hillary's former running mate, if you'll remember. But we have to recognize that as a leader of the Democratic Party, he is giving voice to a belief that would exactly kill our country. If our rights are not anchored in something we cannot reach, which is in God, then our rights are dependent on the next person that gets elected. Right. And everything we have built for the last 250 years falls apart. We have got to realize how dangerous that boldness that he expressed is. Yeah. Our rights are anchored in the Creator God. Now, you know, people will say, well, you know, who's to say which God is right? History is to say which God is right. Only under Christianity can all the other religions live safely and in peace. Look, Ilhan Omar is a proud Muslim. They're about to elect a Muslim in New York City 24 years after the towers were destroyed by Muslims. But we give them that space because our God commands us to live in peace with them. Now, Christianity has not, the people who name Christianity have not always lived up to our writings, you know, and people will quickly cite, you know, the Crusades and the Inquisition. Yeah, but those people were not acting like Christians. You can't find any justification in the writings of Christ, the teachings of Christ, for killing people like that. What you see in the history of Christianity is a relief of those suffering. The elevation of women and children and the poor and the infirmed, all of these things, eventually to the freedom of the slaves. We have a faith that has turned time on itself, and Tim Kaine and the Democrats, that the people that he represents, and I don't think he represents the rank and file of the Democratic Party, but they have allowed him to have power. He's been elected over and over and over again, and so they are in control of the party that is the biggest threat to the United States of America today. That ideology, that our rights are anchored in government. That's what he said.
That's right.
And not in God. And anyways, I didn't mean to take so long, but I got really revved up listening to your last speaker. And I hope he can stay in office for a long, long time and really continue his work with Louisiana's educational system.
Yes,
thanks.
All right.
Y'all have a great day.
Thank you. And, you know, he's definitely, speaking of Kay Brumley, drawing some criticism over that, but proof's kind of in the pudding. When you see where the state has gone, just ranking-wise, something's working, and I appreciate his views on that. Now, if you didn't catch the Tim Kaine sound bites, it was kind of going viral on X the other day. This is what he said.
The statement that our rights do not come from our laws or our governments is extremely troubling. The notion that rights don't come from laws and don't come from the government, but come from the Creator. That's what the Iranian government believes.
So you probably can't read this.
All right, so that's someone commenting right afterward, but did he not read in our Declaration of Independence that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights, among those life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness? So
I think maybe in his defense too, he's talking about maybe I could use my religion to usurp the law if I believe that's the ultimate.
I didn't think that's what he was saying. I didn't.
What is he saying?
I mean, he's basically chiding someone who believes that rights come from God and not from the law system that we have. Because he's making a false moral equivalency to say, well, that's what, the Ayatollah believes, or that's what the Iranian government believes. I mean, clearly they don't believe in human rights. Ours is based on human rights that come from God. Theirs is declaring more of a theocracy where they use religion to justify the way that they rule the people. It's a big difference. Big difference. No question on that. All right, we need to take a break because we're a little behind.
KSYL.
All of us have that one friend who can just light up the room with a smile. And sadly, how many of us are just a little bit envious of that friend? Well, here's the good news. The folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville can deliver that beautiful beaming smile. Over the years, hundreds of hopeful patients have visited and been completely satisfied. They've made getting dental implants an amazingly simple, low-anxiety procedure, one that's affordable for anyone's budget. The staff at Today's Dental go out of their way to make you feel comfortable with calming in-office IV sedation that's administered by a highly skilled, certified nurse anesthetist. And their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Isn't it your turn to light up that room? Give Today's Dental a call at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Gauthier. That's 448-4540. Is your website accessible to everyone? If it's not WCAG compliant, you could be excluding customers and opening yourself up to lawsuits. At Kinetics, we build and optimize websites that meet WCAG accessibility standards, helping you serve more people, convert more customers, and stay compliant with ADA guidelines. Don't risk it. Get your free website accessibility assessment today at kinetics.solutions. That's kinetics.solutions. Kinetics, where smart marketing works.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
All right, we are back here on Talkback. Let's go back to the phones. Good morning. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, I saw Tim Cook when he said that.
Tim King.
I was thinking to myself, hey, I was thinking to myself, murder or theft, that's not against not wrong because somebody wrote a law.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, y'all heard that.
Okay, thank you. So he basically goes on to say the notion that rights don't come from government, from a creator, from the creator. That's what the Iranian government believes. It's a theocratic regime that bases its rule on Sharia law and targets Sunnis, Jews, Christians, and other religious minorities. Again, I don't see how you make that comparison. It's two completely different things. So he said, the statement that our rights do not come from our laws and government is extremely troubling. And RFK Jr. said something over the weekend I think is so true. These hearings are not about really finding out the truth or information. They're about providing soundbite opportunities and both sides do it completely. They're not really interested in getting to the bottom of things. They're looking for viral moments. But that just shows a complete misunderstanding of the foundational elements of our whole government. My goodness. So he's drawing a lot of reaction to that, as you can imagine.
Yeah. I don't really know what to say on it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can say. It was just a dumb statement, so...
I think it might be overblown, too, the outrage over it.
Yeah, maybe, but it does show, I think, the mindset at times that we're seeing right now existing in a lot of the Democratic Party. So, which is government's your daddy. Hey, let me, on another topic, ask you this. You are as informed a journalist as there is out there. Have you heard this name, Irina Zarutska?
I heard it yesterday.
For the first time,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
All right. I'm curious how many people in our audience have heard it.
Yeah, I saw the thumbnail of the video. I'm not watching that. There's no way.
Yeah. So
I'm not into that kind of
So if you don't know what we're talking about, let me give you kind of the background here. So this young woman moved to the United States from Ukraine a few years ago to escape the violence going on there, anchors herself in Charlotte, and the other day was riding on a train in Charlotte, and a homeless guy who'd been arrested, I believe, 13 previous times, sits behind her and for whatever reason pulls out a knife, stabs her in the neck, and kills her. And this happened like back on, I want to say like August 27th.
Mm-hmm. It was August sometime.
But it got zero coverage and still is getting zero coverage in the national media. Her story is a horrific example of, again, just out of control crime in so many of our larger cities. What's been really disturbing about it too has been almost a dismissive response from the mayor of Charlotte, no comment at all from the governor of North Carolina, and the total ignoring of it by the national media. And if you compare her story to, say, like, remember when Daniel Penny, he was on the subway in New York, and that guy was threatening people, and so he put him in a basically a chokehold move, and the guy ended up dying. I mean, you heard nonstop stories about that. What is the difference? Why would our national media not be interested in this story? It's perplexing, and probably we wouldn't know about it if it hadn't been for Twitter, where people started sharing it, including Elon Musk himself, who's been sharing it quite a bit.
Didn't the national media bring it up to Trump? Because they showed.
I think a Fox reporter finally did ask him.
That's how I found out.
Yeah, and he said that he just had heard about it, and he didn't know much. He was going to look into it and perhaps comment on it today.
Yeah.
But
was the video just released?
That may have been.
I think that's what might have happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
But my goodness, it's just a horrific, horrible story.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Someone sitting on a subway train or whatever it was. Was it a bus or train?
I thought it was like a train.
It looked like a subway of some sort.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the whole video, but
no,
this is heartbreaking.
And I know the mayor, she's upset that people are sharing the video out of respect to the victim and everything like that. But what she hasn't done is condemned, for example, all these judges that gave this guy a pass, including most recently, he was ordered released pending a psychiatric evaluation. But that never happened. He never showed up for it. It's just the selectiveness, again, a lot of times the national media, what they cover and what they don't cover, versus what the people share on sites like Twitter and other social media, are definitely, I think it's a commentary on where kind of things are at.
Yeah, here's my, and I get what you're saying. My opinion on the whole thing, and when it comes to that constant conversation we have, who cares what ABC and NBC covers?
Right.
Like, the relevance is going down at this point.
No, you're right. 100%.
I mean, they covered Trump in a certain way and cover things around him in a certain way. It didn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Anything just emboldened him.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, who really cares at this point?
There is a congressman, his name is Randy Fine, who says he's going to introduce legislation that would hold judges accountable when violent repeat offenders are released and commit new crimes. He said those 12-plus judges who released DeCarlos Brown Jr. should have their day in court, too. I don't know that that's going to go anywhere, but I think people agree with the sentiment in terms of, why, and this goes back to the conversation we had last week. If we really, truly want to get serious about stopping crime in America, we've got to put the criminals in jail. This guy is a habitual criminal who shows he cannot control himself around other people. He should not be out on the streets. And now, hopefully, he'll be gone forever, but we've lost a beautiful life. Here's a woman that moved to this country to get away from violence, and violence here killed her. It's just
awful stuff. I think the president said he might tell you something about it today.
Yeah, I would think. All right, well, let's take some more calls. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
Good morning. I was not aware of that. So
yeah, Yeah, I mean, again, the national media, you can do a search of her name and you will not see anything like the New York Times, Washington Post, ABC, NBC, CBS. I saw the only things that'll pop up is some of the local coverage in the Charlotte area.
Well, and because it was they'll say, oh, their argument's going to be, oh, it's a local issue. And it is, but it begs the bigger question.
Yeah, it speaks to a larger issue.
And here's the root of this too. We have done ourselves, and I think we started in like the late 70s, releasing people we used to keep in the mental institutions.
Yeah. Yes.
And I think it started maybe with Carter or Reagan, some of it, and then it kind of slowly progressed. I mean, Central Hospital used to have a huge population.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now I think the only thing that's there is the smaller one, and it's the truly dangerous ones.
Yeah.
But maybe we should send some of this, all the money we send to Ukraine, Israel, and so many of these other countries. Maybe we ought to think about reinforcing our mental health care system and institutions.
I've heard a lot of people.
What do you do with these people?
Right, exactly.
It's not like we can take them out back and shoot them in the head.
No, of course not. But at the same time, this is not the first example of someone that shouldn't have been out, and it'll probably happen again, sadly.
And many of these people are functional when they're on their meds.
Right.
But they have to be on their meds.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't pretend to know the answer, but we got to do something.
Yes, sir. All right. Thank you for your thoughts. We appreciate it. We need to take this break.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics with 27 providers and 3 locations. Someone can see you today. Stick around. More of Talkback is on the way.
The world once needed lots of paper made right here in central Louisiana. Now we're making a comeback with clean methanol. Beaver Lake Renewable Energy will turn Louisiana wood into fuel, creating hundreds of direct and indirect jobs and giving loggers a steady market again. It's not just a plant, it's a promise to our land, our people, and our future. Visit beaverlakerenewable.com and find out how we're putting central Louisiana back on the map.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
It's game day, and this could be the biggest game of the year. Let's listen into the locker room as Coach preps his team.
Listen up. This ain't just any game, so you've got to be game ready. Yeah. You know what that means. Lock in, gear up, and get your hands on the one ticket that has more action than a fourth quarter comeback. Game Ready, the new Saints scratch-off from the lottery.
Yeah. Play Game Ready from the lottery. Win up to $100,000. Also, it's game time when you play Saints Game On, the new $5 fast play game from the lottery. Enter the second chance drawings to win Saints prize packages and up to $1 million.
Put your game face on. Remember, you're not just ready, you're game ready.
Yeah! It's game time with Game Ready and Saints Game On. Win up to $100,000. Enter second chance drawings for Saints prize packages with a chance to win up to $1 million. Visit LouisianaLottery.com for more details. Must be at least 21 to purchase.
A message from Israel Air Conditioning and Heating.
Yeah, my mama, she told me to pick up and call Israel Air.
She told me Israel Air. She told me.
She said they'll come running with comfort beyond compare.
And a very fair price.
Because you know we're all about your comfort, no troubles. Call 442-6657. That's 442-6657. 657. We're all about your comfort. That's your comfort.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. Now back to Talk Back.
All right, we're back here on this Monday. Alan Stephen with you. Hey, reminder, coming up tonight at 6 o'clock down at the Forest Hill Community Center, they're having a Citizens Against Carbon Capture public meeting that starts at 6 o'clock again at the Forest Hill Community Center. We've been seeing a lot of these meetings happening around the area as people are finding out more about what's going on with proposals for projects that involve carbon capture, and people are using their voices to speak out about that topic.
Okay, well, I'll give you my thoughts on something else after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Yeah. Quick first hour. Again, thanks to Kate Brumley for being here. And we have much more coming up in hour number 2. Stay with us.
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting. AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. It's been a deadly day in Jerusalem. Officials say at least 6 people were killed, 12 wounded. At the end of the morning rush hour, reporter Linda Gradstein is in Jerusalem.
The Israeli police said 2 attackers opened fire at a crowded bus stop using improvised machine guns. Israeli media said the attackers also boarded a crowded bus and opened fire inside the bus before they were shot by a security officer and a civilian. Hamas did not claim responsibility, but welcomed the attack.
Jury selection begins in South Florida today in the trial of the man charged with trying to assassinate then candidate Donald Trump at his golf course last year. Former federal prosecutor Lori Levinson.
The first thing that happens is they'll bring in a big pool of potential jurors, about 60 at a time, and question those individuals about what they know about the case and what their biases might be.
U.S. District Judge Aileen Cannon has signed off on Ryan Ruth's request to represent himself, but she ordered court-appointed attorneys to remain on standby. ICE raids have begun in Boston and other Massachusetts locations, and operations in others may soon follow. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe.
White House border czar Tom Homan says Chicago and other so-called sanctuary cities should absolutely expect stepped-up immigration enforcement this week, and doesn't rule out asking for help from the National Guard. New CBS News polling shows immigration and deportation issues are by far the most important issues Republicans are now judging the Trump administration on.
Hurricane Kiko has been downgraded to a Category 2 system, and it's expected to weaken more as it moves over cooler water. KHON meteorologist Kelly Simic is in Honolulu.
When you hear of a hurricane coming, you're worried mostly about winds and rains, but luckily, with the system passing to the north of us, it does look like it'll be far enough north that we're not going to be seeing the damaging effects that we were worried about.
Damaging winds did hit Massachusetts over the weekend, and a tornado tore through west of Boston. A peace vigil that stood near the White House for more than 40 years has been partially dismantled. CBS's Christopher Cruz has details from Washington.
The Washington Post calls the vigil the longest continuous act of political protest in American history. It's been there during the terms of 7 presidents and has survived brutal heat and bitter cold. Last week, after a reporter for a conservative outlet asked President Trump about it, the president said he wasn't aware of it, but ordered it taken down.
Dow futures are up 43, S&P futures ahead 14, and NAS futures up 83. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Get renter's insurance to protect the things that make your place a home, including coverage for theft or damage. Visit Progressive.com.
I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Your car steering wheel could be a ticking time bomb. At least 24 people have died and many more injured because their airbags fired shrapnel at them upon inflating. Tens of millions of cars have been recalled. If you suffered cuts that required stitches, hearing or vision loss, or broken bones, please contact us today.
Call 1-800-602-9900.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit us at badairbags.com for an office near you. Prior results do not guarantee a similar outcome.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Colleen Crane. There are 51 ICE detainees housed in Angola with plans to hold more than 400. ACLU Louisiana Legal Director Nora Ahmed says immigration detention is a civil process to ensure court appearances, not a punishment for criminal behavior.
We don't believe that you are allowed to be double incarcerated for time that you already served.
ICE Deputy Director Madison Sheehan says detainees will have access to a legal library and spaces to meet with their attorneys, and she adds the facility meets the organization's standards. The mother of Brian Vasquez, the 12-year-old nonverbal special needs boy found dead in a lagoon last month, was arrested yesterday. Brian had been missing for 2 weeks. The coroner reported the cause of death as drowning and blunt force trauma from an alligator attack. Hilda Vasquez faces negligent homicide and second-degree cruelty to juveniles charges. NOPD officials report finding a pattern of negligence and abuse by Vasquez. LRN.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter with the clinics. We provide primary, family, and chronic care along with gastroenterology, podiatry with on-site lab and x-ray services. I'm pleased to welcome family physician Dr. Noah Miller to our team. We are currently accepting new patients and same-day appointments are available. If you're admitted into the hospital, our doctors will see you there as well. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The clinic's on North Dalton, 445-9823, and online at theclinics.us.
Monty, a great start to our week, and as you get up and going this morning, it is just beautiful out there. Good morning. Our forecast calling for sunny today. High temps near 84. We'll see a northeast breeze at about 5 to 10. Clear skies and 59 for the overnight low tonight. And then more sunshine tomorrow. Temperatures start to creep back up. 89 should do it under sunny skies on Tuesday. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 27 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Welcome back, everyone, on your Monday, September 8th. Al Quartermont, Stephen Maxwell on this Star Trek Day. Did you know, Stephen, 59 years ago on this day, 1966, the pilot episode of Star Trek called The Man Trap. It's not a metaphor for marriage, by the way. It's amazing that Star Trek only ran for 3 seasons.
Well, that original episode, I'm not a Star Trek guy, but I've seen the first 3 episodes, and it wasn't Shatner, it was Pike or whatever they called him.
Oh, really? Oh, his dad, right? Chris Pike's dad, the one that played Captain Kirk in the movies later.
I don't know. See, I don't know that much. It wasn't William Shatner.
That I didn't realize.
Yeah.
But
wasn't it? Oh gosh, someone's gonna destroy me, but I'm pretty sure it was different from the start.
Okay, you may be right. but the series ran for only 3 seasons, spawning 11 other shows, 13 movies, and a bazillion Captain Kirk impressions.
You know, I've never been a big Star Trek guy. I've wanted to start it up. I actually thought about starting it a couple weeks ago and just going through the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I ended up just watching YouTube documentaries instead, but I'll get to it one day.
One day,
so.
Yeah. I did kind of like the newer iteration of movies they had come out around, what was that, 2010-ish, somewhere around there, with a younger cast. I thought that was pretty good.
I think the new ones people hated, the shows they posted.
Yeah,
were,
yeah.
Put on a couple.
We might have some Trekkies in the audience, so if you want to weigh in, feel free to do that.
Well, it was always Star Wars versus Star Trek, and I was a Star Wars guy, but they're not even comparable.
No, very, very different franchises for sure. But Star Trek certainly spawned a few technology ideas that we have today. I was listening to Chuck Palm on our America in the Morning show, and he was talking about some of the innovations that have come as a result of Star Trek technology, like flip phones, for example, and some other things.
iPads.
That have even come along in the medical world. But I used to watch Star Trek when I was a kid, and there was kind of nothing else on. I was never like a giant fan. I always thought it was okay, but
yeah. I mean, I've tried it. It just didn't rock my world or anything.
Right. But some people, man, you know, they're loyal to the brand for sure, and I get it. Speaking of being loyal to the brand called the National Football League had its big opening weekend. We talked about your Cowboys on Friday night. The Chiefs lost to the Chargers down in Brazil. And then Sunday, we had a huge day of NFL, which ended last night with the Ravens blowing a lead, 15 points in the fourth quarter to the Bills, who came back and won that game. Incredible.
My buddy's a big Ravens fan, diehard Ravens fan, and he's just lamenting on my text right now.
One of my students is as well. And man, I in our fantasy league that we're in with Nathan and some of his folks, I had a huge lead. I thought, okay, I'm looking pretty good. But Josh Allen, that last drive, secured enough points that I'm going to lose by like less than 2 points this week.
Oh, no.
And one of those weeks where if I played just about any other team, I probably would have won. I hate that.
Play to win the game.
Yeah, that's like, oh, come on.
I'm trying to see right now if we're in the same league. Let me see.
Yeah.
Did I win, Al? Did you see?
I didn't really look.
Oh, I lost.
Did you lose?
Let me see. I might have some players tonight.
Yeah, that's true.
I have Swift.
DeAndre Swift for the Bears. He's a running back, yeah.
That's my only hope, and I'm down by 29 points.
29? Yeah.
I'm done. Nathan Martin beat me. What the heck?
Who was his big performer?
He had, his highest score was Baker Mayfield.
Wow. Which again,
no, I got more. No, I don't.
Steven doesn't know how it works yet.
No, I'm done.
As the kids say, you're cooked?
I'm cooked. Shoot.
Let me see if I can find. Yeah, so I was playing Richard Carlisle, and he has 113.26, and I have 111.68 with all of my players being done.
Nathan had 109. I had 89.
Wow. Yeah, Alan finished with 38.76 points. That's ridiculous. That is, I mean, the next highest score this guy had on his team was 13.9 points.
So my buddy, who's the Ravens fan, and I'm like passive aggressive on my text messages because they do it to me. I'm like, oh man, that stinks for you, dude. So sorry. And he goes, well, spread was 1.5 and they won by 1. Vegas won. Every time the Ravens lose, especially in the playoffs, it's Vegas conspiring.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Well, my big mistake was I played George Pickens instead of Ricky Pearsall. If I'd played Pearsall, I would have won.
Gotcha. Well,
that's what I get for trusting a cowboy.
I'm not going to lose much sleep over it, but yeah, I saw the one thing that kind of broke my heart was Micah Parsons.
Yeah.
You know, getting his cheap little sack at the end of the game there.
First sack as a Packer, yeah.
And then after the game, he's like, it's just been so toxic for me.
Yeah, 6 months of... Yeah.
6 months of... I was like, look, You're making $45 million a year.
How toxic can it be?
Break, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what I was saying. I used to get so upset, and sometimes I still get worked up over the football game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, like, man, it must stink for Lamar Jackson last night. I was like looking at a video of him.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, he's probably gonna make like $40 million tonight, so he'll be all right.
He'll be fine. Although when he was walking off the field, a Bills fan kind of reached over the railing and kind of pushed him, so he pushed him back.
That wasn't after the game. I think it was during the game.
Oh, was it?
It was when they were up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It was after they scored a touchdown, maybe.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but they were up, I think.
Gotcha. I just saw the video. I didn't really read it much, but.
And that's what the Bills have that kind of offense.
Yeah, they do.
And that kind of quarterback.
Right.
And the Ravens are really good, but they're really good at choking.
I even have Derrick Henry on my team, and I still lost. And he had a monster game, but he had that fumble, and I think that's -2 points. So that cost me right there. Thanks, Derrick.
You would have won the game.
Appreciate it, buddy. Yeah, plus Allen wouldn't have had a chance to lead him down for that last.
You're probably not going to win the trophy now.
The joys of fantasy.
What do you win if we win this league? Just bragging rights?
I think respect and admiration.
Respect, admiration.
I don't know. Maybe Nathan will take you out to breakfast if you win the league.
You can take us to Harlow's or something.
Right.
Pineville's greatest breakfast spot.
Buy you a donut.
That'd be nice. I thought they have to buy chocolate donuts over at Harlow's now.
Oh, really?
That's what I saw.
Really? Now, speaking of delicacies, I saw over the weekend you and your fair wife made a trip down south. And
yeah, we went to
celebrated the anniversary and all that.
Yeah, a little big cup. Our anniversary is technically Wednesday.
Okay.
But this seemed like the best weekend to go. And grandparents watched Sophia. My wife and I went to, I think it's pronounced Arnaville.
Yeah. Arnaville.
Something. And went to the Little Big Cup. It was good.
Wow.
I was so upset though. I didn't eat all morning. And I get there and I eat half a biscuit and I'm stuffed. Like, it was so weird. And I had to force feed myself the whole time. And it made me so mad. Because I was like looking forward to eating. Yeah, it was like a breakfast brunch.
Huh.
And I got full immediately. Oh, so annoying.
Taste the biscuit. Did you ever hear that song?
Yes. But it was like ridiculous. And I was so full. And I just kept ordering things because like we came all the way over here, an hour and 20-minute drive. So I got like dessert and coffees and cocktails and all sorts of stuff. And $110 later just to barely eat anything.
But you also stopped and bought your wife
Cubigs or Pubigs or whatever.
Yeah.
Lemon pie. They had it at this gas station in St. Landry Parish.
Are those really that good? Are they,
they're good.
Fire?
You know, like you get the like McDonald's pies. Or,
yeah.
These are like extra crispy.
Oh, okay.
And they're like a staple in New Orleans.
So different from like the Hostess.
Yes,
pies.
It's a little bit better.
Okay.
But I think they went away for a while and they came back a couple of years ago.
Okay.
And so they were a viral sensation in the Crescent City. And I've never seen them up this way. And I talked to the lady at the counter. By the way, St. Landry people are so nice. They're from Parish people.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, we just got these the other day. And I was like, she goes, oh, I've just been taking them home every day. And I don't even like to sell them. That wasn't a very good St. Landry accent.
No. Did not sound Cajun enough.
Oh, sure.
We'll work on that.
Yeah, it was good. It's kind of like a Willis Parish, but a little bit different. So,
slightly.
Louisiana is very interesting.
So it was my birthday weekend, and a lot of the family came in, including the granddaughter. Surprised me Friday nights, and then
Ella came in.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then Saturday we were all going to go out to lunch. My other daughter came down from Shreveport, so we had about I think 18 of us total. My sister-in-law came, and my wife's like, "Where do you want to go?" I'm like, "Well," so we picked Route 22 up in Grand Parish.
Oh, good.
In Dry Prong. Folks, if you've never eaten at Route 22, you need to really check it out sometime. You can find them on Facebook or just Google Route 22 and get their hours. But the food is consistently really good. It's not that expensive. The service is just fantastic. And I mean, they just took care of us. They put a huge table together, and waitress was fantastic. We just had a great time. And Miss Benita was there. I mean, she's the owner of that whole complex, but she's there working on Saturdays, helping out the staff. So, and even gave me a big old bowl of birthday ice cream.
Oh, good.
Yeah, which Ella wanted to share it with me. So we did.
I need to go up there.
You do. You really do. I mean, it's amazing what she has done with that complex and how it serves the community.
Okay.
And the different things that they have planned. They have some big Christmas plans that are coming up, for example. We were talking about that yesterday. On Saturday, just a great place.
I love Grant Parish. I need to go
Yeah.
up there. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Bring the camera up.
I mean, yeah, the little restaurant, I mean, basically it's the old cafeteria from what was Dry Prong High School. And the auditorium, she's restored that, so they have different events there. The old gymnasium is where you can work out and do different exercise things there and classes. And then the old cafeteria now is a restaurant where she's able to employ kids from the community or other people. And I mean, they've got the fire brick oven, so you can get pizza.
So she does the B-22 stuff.
Yes.
Okay, because I had a guy, I've been wanting to go up there too. I think it's CrossFit-esque.
Okay, yeah, it is.
Working out.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a guy message me the other day. They're putting on an event out there in October.
Mm-hmm.
It's where you run 3.5 miles every hour. Last one standing wins.
Wow.
And he asked if I wanted to come out and do it and cover it. He says, so whatever. And I was like, absolutely. And he's like, apparently, when they've done this in the past, they would have guys last until the next day.
Seriously?
Yeah. And at that point, like, you can run 3.5 miles in an hour. It's just your ankles start getting destroyed, your feet start blistering up.
Yeah.
You got to be prepared because you have to bring different socks, different clothes, how to eat properly in that 30-minute time frame, 20-minute time frame. It'll be fun. It'll be interesting.
It's kind of like an extended marathon.
It's called an ultra, like an ultra event.
Yeah. Have you ever done it?
No, I've done a marathon.
Are you going to try it? Have you? I didn't know you did a marathon.
I did one in 2020, maybe.
Really?
Yeah, the Louisiana Marathon in Baton Rouge.
Huh.
It was, we didn't really train for it too much. I ran it in 4 hours. It was very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It was not fun. There's like these moments where it's horrible, like between mile 15 and 20 was like the moment I'm like, okay, you just got to push through it.
Yeah.
It was 26.
Oh.
Yeah. It was tough.
I could never do that.
My feet, as soon as I was done, my legs were feeling like they were about to explode.
Wow.
And I was almost in tears. You just like, God, just wanted to stop.
Just from the lactic acid?
Yeah. Because we didn't really train too much for it.
Yeah.
And my buddy, you remember Rodney Davis?
Yeah. Yeah.
He didn't train at all. And he was way behind me and my other friend. And he came across the finish line. I mean, tough guy, big football player. He was crying.
Oh, really?
And I was like, dude, you okay? And he's like, man, I hate you, man. I was like, that's because you didn't train, dude. And he's like, oh, man. Yeah, he was in tears, man.
Yeah.
But it's tough. I'm thinking about doing it. I'm hoping to maybe go for my goal would be to be doing it for 10 hours would be my goal.
Wow.
But I don't think I can do it right now. I'm not really in running shape like I used to be.
Yeah.
I'm in, I don't know, not much. Just go to the gym for 20 minutes shape. So
you're in restaurant shape.
Yeah, I'm in Discover Sin-Law shape.
I never was a runner. Never ever could do distance running. I mean, in my peak time of health or athleticism, I might be able to run 2 miles.
No, you would have been able to. You could run more back then. 2 miles. Give me a break.
No.
Yeah, the last one I ran was the 5K. They do the Lauren Vaughn one.
Yes.
At Ash, we did that one.
Okay.
And I always win my age group because it's that age group where you're not young, you're not running, and you're not old and bored, so you're not running. It's like all the parents. So it's like me and 2
All the
other
people
guys.
are too busy to run.
Yeah,
normally.
they're just too busy to run, and where you're wanting to golf and sports gamble instead. And
yes.
I think I ran that 5K, which is 3.1 miles in 21 minutes. So if you can finish these 3.5 miles in 30 minutes, you can stay alive.
I'm more of an endurance video editor. One time I edited for 24 straight hours.
I've come close to that.
Yeah.
My last TV story I did in my career in Shreveport was a 13-minute package, which is
that's
something
crazy.
else.
That's a lot of
It
editing.
took me a long time.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, we need to take a break. More Talk Back coming up.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics with 27 providers and 3 locations. Someone can see you today. Stick around. More of Talkback is on the way.
Storms, tornadoes, power outages. It's the season. So get prepared. Get storm ready with Southern Air. Get a free estimate on a generator, the right generator for your home and family, plus 0% financing for 60 months with approved credit. Let Southern Air help you take the worry out of hurricane season. Take action now. Visit southernairnow.com and let us bear it. Or give us a call at 318-777-5555. Keep the lights on with Southern Air.
You too could have a beautiful smile in as little as 12 weeks. Exclusive to Today's Dental in Pineville, Virtual Align Clear Aligners. The fastest, most convenient, affordable way to straighten your teeth for people on the go. Plus, they're invisible. No one will know you're doing it. Experience the Virtual Align difference. Call Today's Dental at 448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. 448-4540.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
My doctor told me my cholesterol is borderline, so I took control with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula. Garlic helps maintain healthy cholesterol safely and naturally. It's odor and taste-free, and Garlic is a world leader in garlic potency. I'm taking charge of my cholesterol with Garlic Healthy Cholesterol Formula, cholesterol's natural enemy.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. The term natural references only the garlic in the product. Use as directed.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL. Now back to Talk Back.
All right, we're back with you on this Monday. Al Quartermont, Stephen Maxwell, thanks for being with us. Story I meant to try to get to last week, but we just had so many topics we were talking about is, have you heard of Camp 57? Haven't heard of it? Okay. All right. Well, it's the new ICE detention facility that they're hosting at the state penitentiary in Angola.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that.
Okay.
Yeah, 57. I didn't know that was what it was called, though.
Yeah, and here's a report that CBS News did about it. We'll play this, and then we can come back and talk a little bit more about it. Camp 57.
Alligator Alcatraz facility that's going to be in Louisiana now instead of Florida. It's an ICE detention facility that's in Angola, and it's a camp that was set up on the same property as the Louisiana State Penitentiary, where some of the max security prisoners are held in the state. This is the entrance to the facility, and just across the way, across the street from the facility, is a bayou, I'm told, full of gators, quite literally, including one 10-foot alligator that is lovingly named Bertha. And I'm told that this facility is called Camp 57 because Governor Jeff Landry is the 57th governor of the state of Louisiana. This facility is a result of an historic partnership, according to U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, that expands a 287G agreement with the state of Louisiana. It was made possible, Bondi says, as a result of the Louisiana governor actually issuing a declaration of emergency earlier this year. As a result, that laid the groundwork for this Camp 57 to be built. Apparently, according to U.S. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, there's been no other partnership between a state and the U.S. government like this ever in U.S. history. And she says it's a very exciting opportunity to be able to crack down on what she says are the worst of the worst in terms of illegal immigrants entering this country. And so she says that this is a big win and thanks the state for their efforts to be flexible and to help make this happen. In fact, AG Pam Bondi even went so far as to say that the state of Louisiana is now setting an example for other states around the country with the result of this camp being built in such a quick amount of time. Now, ICE says that this newly renovated camp is going to hold more than 400 ICE detainees, and already Just on Tuesday, 51 men were brought here. The first 51 men are people that are already convicted of crimes, including rape and murder. And they said that there are scheduled already more than 200 more detainees expected to come within the next week or so.
All right, so that's the story on Camp 57.
I like how they just led with the one observation.
Mm-hmm.
You think CBS News, a multi-million-dollar organization, could get her a microphone?
Yes.
Goodness gracious. My gosh.
The background noise.
Get her something.
Right.
And two, the alligators, like surrounded by alligators. Like, come on.
That's overplaying it a little.
Like, leading with that. We had an alligator in my pond in my yard.
And a 10-foot alligator isn't even that big.
I don't know. Whatever.
I mean, it's pretty normal size, right?
I
don't know. Maybe we have a gator hunter out there that can enlighten us. But yeah, it's kind of the same thing with alligator Alcatraz. I'd be more afraid of like snakes in that water than.
I've seen videos in the Everglades. I don't want to go there.
No.
I get stuck there.
Yeah.
But Angola is kind of notorious. So.
Right. It's interesting because you kind of had a lot of outcry against alligator Alcatraz, but I'm not really hearing people crying out about this one.
Not too much, no.
Are we just, maybe we're more used to incarcerations in Louisiana?
Maybe it's more vetted, and I guess the way they went about it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
So, there were some concerning stories out of alligator Alcatraz, if you believe them or not. You know, but I mean, if we're using Angola to house convicted murderers and rapists, that's kind of what it's been doing in the first place.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these things too. We heard a lot of outcry from a lot of stuff at the beginning, and whether you agree with it or not, you just kind of get a little desensitized to it, even if you're against it at this point.
Yeah, because it's just kind of happening whether you want it to or not.
Yeah, I mean, this is literally what people voted for.
That's true. That is true. The president was at the U.S. Open yesterday, and I didn't realize CBS on Roundup this morning, they were mentioning that the Tennis Association requested that they didn't show any images of him during the match.
I saw the opposite. I saw where they couldn't show anything negative of him.
Oh, was that it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Or any booze. They didn't want that.
Okay.
Oh, I have to look it up, but
the one shot I saw of him was like during the national anthem. They showed a shot of him in salute, and the crowd kind of responded positively from at that time.
I mean, it was booze and cheers, like anywhere he's in the go.
Yeah.
No matter who the president is. So.
For sure. Yeah. But.
I mean, he goes to things all the time.
He does. He enjoys sports. So, all right, we need to take a break.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Inflation takes center stage this week with investors watching for reports on both wholesale and the biggie, the consumer price report, in the coming days. In the meantime, stock futures point to a higher open for Wall Street on this Monday after a lower close to finish out last week following that much weaker than expected August jobs report. The traders are betting that the Fed will cut interest rates at each of its remaining 3 meetings this year. Tomorrow, investors will have their eyes on Apple and the company's big product launch event of the year. We'll see the new iPhone lineup, and for the first time in 5 years, Apple will introduce major design upgrades. A highlight of tomorrow is expected to be the iPhone 17 Air, which will be an ultra-thin model. A major bank merger is in the works. PNC Financial agreed to buy First Bank for about $4.1 billion to add branches in Colorado and Arizona. PNC is based in Pittsburgh. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
One big, beautiful bill. A signature achievement for President Trump. The decisive vote to get it done in the U.S. Senate? Louisiana's Bill Cassidy. Cassidy stood with Trump to provide historic investments in border security. Together, they delivered critical tax relief for working families. And the Trump-Cassidy law will boost manufacturing and energy production right here in America. And when President Trump needed a partner in the U.S. Senate to pass tough new penalties on fentanyl traffickers, it was Bill Cassidy who stepped up and got it done. With Trump and Cassidy, you can count on one thing: a conservative agenda for Louisiana and America. Call Senator Cassidy at 225-929-7711. Thank him for standing with President Trump and for fighting and winning for Louisiana and America. Paid for by Louisiana Legacy Policy Solutions, Inc.
Join us for the 7th Annual Gift of Life Banquet, an unforgettable evening of hope, inspiration, and purpose, hosted by Cenla Pregnancy Centers. Hear powerful stories of lives changed and be inspired by keynote speaker J.J. Jasper. Your attendance helps women and families for generations to come because every life is a precious gift. Reserve your seat today for September 18th at the Riverfront Center. Visit cenlapc.com or call 318-314-3061.
Well, I'll take a great start to our week, and as you get up and going this morning, it is just beautiful out there. Good morning. Our forecast calling for sunny today. High temps near 84. We'll see a northeast breeze at about 5 to 10. Clear skies and 59 for the overnight low tonight. And then more sunshine tomorrow. Temperatures start to creep back up. 89 should do it under sunny skies on Tuesday. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK back.
All right, we are back with you, Alan Stephen, here on your Monday morning, and we appreciate all the great phone calls here on the BOM Bank Talk line. Let's take another one. Good morning, you're on Talkback. Whoop.
He's cussing.
Okay. Don't know what that's all about, but
I saw that there was a GoFundMe pulled down a fundraiser for the stabbing suspect with a Ukrainian refugee.
Yeah.
So
I know.
There's some scuttlebutt about that.
Yeah, that was. I saw people on Twitter were pleading with GoFundMe to take that down.
Yeah, they just did.
So apparently they did, which is good. All right, back to the phones. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Hey, good morning. Sorry to double dip, but your Cassidy commercial reminded me about a law that's before Congress. Can I mention it right quick?
Sure.
It's called Connor's Law, and they're asking that we call our congressmen and especially senators, get them to for it. It's a law requiring that English be spoken to be able to get a commercial driver's license. This Connor was an 18-year-old kid that was killed by an illegal alien driving an 18-wheeler a week or 2 or 3 before those people in Florida. There was a construction or something around over a hill or a blind curve, and they had several signs saying, be prepared to stop, but they were all in English. And this guy came around the corner, and Connor was in the first vehicle that he hit. He hurt a lot of people, but he killed this young man, Connor, 18 years old, just starting out at life, and so they're calling it Connor's Law. So the number, if you didn't get it on the commercial, 202-224-3121. That'll get you anybody in Washington, D.C. that represents you. That's the Capitol Switchboard, and you give them your zip code. If you don't know your representatives, they'll direct you to the right office.
Okay, thank you for that. We appreciate it.
Y'all have a great day.
Yeah. So, yeah, this story, we've been talking a little bit about this morning, the Ukrainian woman that was stabbed to death on a train in Charlotte. Here's how Axios is reporting it. The gruesome video of a fatal knife attack on Irina Zarutska on a light rail car in Charlotte is drawing attention from MAGA influencers seeking to elevate the issue of violent urban crime and accuse mainstream media of undercovering shocking cases. And what do we call that in media? That's framing.
Yeah, I mean, both sides do it after every major event.
Sure, but
I mean, it's getting talked about now. Was it was it the timing of when the video was released? Because maybe if we see someone stabbed, a suspect, or whatever, it takes some time for it to make its rounds. But if there's immediately a video of it, that seems to elevate it to, I guess, national status sometimes.
Just the way that's written. It's like, who cares if it's MAGA influencers? The issue is this woman is dead senselessly. It shouldn't matter who's calling it to attention. I mean, it seems like any time that what we call, quote, mainstream media fails on a story that conservative media picks up on, and it starts to become where you can't ignore it, they blame almost the conservative media for making it an issue when it should have been an issue all along for any media.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think on that.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
I get it.
It's weird. I mean, someone said, I can't remember, was it you or somebody had said, maybe it's because more of a local issue.
I didn't say that.
I can't remember who said that, but people could say that. You could make that same argument about what happened to George Floyd. I mean, it happened in a local situation, but look at how it drew incredible national implications. And maybe a story like this woman's could have national implications to really make us look at what are we doing? Why are we failing in one of the most basic things that we can do, which is just to ensure that people are protected in normal life situations. Nobody should have to get on a light rail train wondering, am I going to get stabbed in the throat from behind today? You know what I mean? Like, it just shouldn't happen.
Yeah. There's obviously an issue in cities. However, in the history of cities and human history, they've all had crime problems.
Yeah.
But obviously it's getting out of hand in some places.
Right. Yeah.
Awful story. And I think a lot of it has to do with when the video is released as well. But I get it. Like, the national media is biased.
Yeah.
Breaking news.
Right.
I don't think it really matters anymore.
Yeah.
It didn't really hurt who's president now.
Yeah, true.
I mean, who cares?
Yeah. All right, let's take another call here this morning. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
That's why you can't leave the crime situation to the local citizens and local government, because they don't know. The media has deliberately, kept things from people, lied to people. The CBS was cited again for changing the interview last weekend.
Right, with Kristi Noem.
So I mean, when you say, oh, let's don't bring in the National Guard, yeah, that's fine, but the local people can't make a decision if they're not informed.
Well, I think the local media in North Carolina was informed.
Yeah, I think
North Carolina knew about it.
Right. Right.
Well, it's a little bit bigger than just a local in North Carolina. You got a whole state you'd have to deal with.
Yeah.
But that's why it's outrageous in the cities, and we know about it.
Well,
there's a lot of people that don't.
A similar situation, even like with Chicago, because they had last year. Yes, sir. Thank you. 538 murders, I think, last year. But you really don't hear about it. I mean, once in a while you do.
I always hear about Chicago being the most dangerous city.
But do they report that every weekend? Is what I'm saying.
I mean, you can't report.
Some weekends do. Like the Labor Day weekend, you did hear that there were 50-something shootings. And I saw yesterday when the president was doing one of his impromptu press gaggles that they asked him about, are you going to go to war with Chicago? And he's like, I'm not going to war.
Why did he post that then?
I know he did, yeah.
Okay, so that's a valid question to ask.
Yeah, but he said that here's a city where every week, like 5 people are getting shot. And he's trying to make the point that it needs to be a safer place. So, but yeah, I agree with you in that case. I don't know, sometimes he's using social media to try to be provocative, it seems like. But again, some people take him literally.
He's the president. He's the most powerful man in the world. You have to take him literally sometimes. Grow up. Say what you mean. There's a reason why a lot of people don't do stuff like that, because it's not really productive. They're just trying to create a stir.
Of course he is. He's the master publicity guy. Like, he's the P.T. Barnum of presidents.
He's in power now.
I know.
Yeah. I don't understand it. That's just my opinion.
All right, let's take another call. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Yeah, yesterday I was kind of bored driving home, and I turned on NPR. And
wow, you must have been really bored.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some of the shows are useful. But anyway, they were talking about the Chicago situation. And if I was to listen to that without knowing anything about what was going on, this, that, and the other, I would have been up in arms and wanting to attack that vicious, mean, horrible president. I mean, the way you present things determine how some people respond to them.
No, there's no question. That's what we call framing, the way a story is framed.
And I mean, I tend to be more leaning toward Al as opposed to Stephen, but at least you guys are juxtapose each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we try to have discussions beyond just taking one side and beating that to death. And, you know, as you can tell, he likes to challenge me a little bit, and I like to challenge him a little bit.
I mean, what do you think I am?
What do I think?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like Hannity and Combs up here. It's like Hannity and not as Hannity.
Oh, man, I don't know if I want to be compared to Hannity.
I'm not enthralled by any politician, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I just like to use my head on things.
He used to be.
Well, I'm looking forward to having some challenge to the current governor coming up. And I'm thinking that one of the reasons why he went after the insurance commissioner was because he perceives the insurance commissioner as a threat.
That could be. That would be interesting. Yeah. I never thought of it like that, but that would be an interesting challenger, to say the least. Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I had no use for Mr. Landry when he was basically became a career politician some years ago.
Yeah.
And he's only reinforced my negative views of him.
I can understand. I think that's been the case with a lot of people, for sure. So, all right, we got to take a break. Thank you for the call. More calls coming up.
KSYL.
Louisiana forests once fueled our economy. Your granddad logged these woods. So did your dad. And now, Beaver Lake Renewable Energy is keeping that legacy alive, turning thinnings and wood byproducts into clean fuel right here in Pineville. It means more jobs, stronger forests, and a future that honors where Central Louisiana came from. Be part of Louisiana's next chapter. Visit BeaverLakeRenewable.com and find out how we're putting Central Louisiana back on the map.
Think your antivirus is enough? Think again. Your business firewall is the first and often only line of defense against cyber attacks. At Kinetics, we manage, monitor, and update your firewall 24/7, keeping threats out and your data protected. Don't leave your network exposed or your team scrambling. Let the experts handle it. Get your free assessment today at kinetics.solutions. That's kinetics.solutions. Kinetics. IT that works.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
I got an answer for the crime problem.
Okay.
Tall oak tree and a short rope.
Okay. Oh.
Actually, death penalty has been proven not to be a deterrent to crime.
Uh-oh. I think the way our modern death penalty is carried out, I can see why it's not a deterrent.
Because we let the facts play out. We let justice go through its motions. I mean, it's a big deal putting someone to death. So it should take its time. Sometimes there are instances where I've covered stories, one particular case in Caddo Parish where he's been on death row for 40 years.
Yeah.
That's different.
Right. Yeah. That's what I mean. It takes so long that by the time it would even happen. So we had the guy, I remember it was about 6 months ago in Louisiana that was finally put to death.
Mm-hmm.
And
the New Orleans case.
Yeah. And then we just had two cases. Well, the one case, Daryl James Robinson, the court ruled against him having the death penalty, right? Is that what I saw the other day?
I can't tell you.
And I know Liz Monroe put out a statement about it. But, yeah, I mean, that's another, obviously, people feel very strongly about the death penalty issue. I've always maintained that I think if the death penalty is used, it should be used in cases that are clear, cut and dry, it's obvious that this person did it, whether they confessed to it or there were 10 witnesses or whatever. I'm not comfortable using it in cases of circumstantial evidence, because we've seen how in the past, sometimes later, that proved to be, not a good thing.
I mean, if anything, it's used as a tool is a way to get a conviction otherwise, right?
Right.
So, like, hey, we'll drop the death penalty if you plead guilty.
Kind of plead to a lesser, which happened with the case of the guy in Idaho, where instead of
where he killed the 4 students in Moscow.
Right, and they did it without consulting the families, and the families were pretty livid about that. But again, I do feel that a lot of times the way it's carried out, again, doesn't really match the crime.
Yeah, and there's another case too in DeSoto Parish, Sepulveda, where he was convicted of stabbing his stepson that was 6 or 7 and then burning him in a pot of boiling water.
Oh my gosh.
And he just died in prison.
Yeah.
Died in prison right before his execution date. Decades later. But
yeah. So this was the statement Liz Murrow put out last week after the Supreme Court shut down another attempt by a death row inmate to avoid execution. She said the Louisiana Supreme Court yesterday shut down another attempt by Darrell Robinson and his lawyers to avoid the death penalty. Robinson brutally murdered 4 people, including a 10-month-old baby in Rapides Parish 29 years ago. It's a long past time for him to have been executed. I tend to see this happens as expeditiously as possible, and then talks about the case.
I know that she was trying to pass some laws, and I can't remember if they passed or if that's going to be in another session where they're trying to limit some of the PCR post-conviction reliefs. Is that a word, reliefs? Anyway, limit those to prevent decades and decades of appeals.
Right.
But it should be somewhat of a long process, in my opinion, not 40 years, but
right.
I mean, when the state's putting someone to death, it's something that we need to take seriously and make sure all the appeals are exhausted.
Yeah.
But I think some of them kind of are just used as wedges to keep it from happening.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it should kind of be more in line with what the crime was. And again, the circumstances of it, if it's clear cut. But
and look, this is coming from someone who's not a victim or a family of a victim in a situation like this. That always changes things.
Yeah.
I can imagine what they go through. It's awful. It ruins lives.
Yeah.
And going through this process nonstop. Interview somebody whose mother was killed by the serial killer in Caddo Parish, and she's been dealing with it. She's 50 now since she was like 10.
Yeah.
It's been a part of her life.
Yeah.
And it just goes on and on and drags on. It's awful. It's you can see both sides. It's hard to come to a conclusion.
Yeah, somewhere along the lines, we started to make the criminal justice process more about the criminals than the victims in a lot of cases. And I think that's what bothers people. I know it bothers me. And we're more worried about the rights a lot of times of the criminals.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It just ruins families.
Yep, for sure it does. All right, last break.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics with 27 providers and 3 locations. Someone can see you today. Stick around. More of Talkback is on the way.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of Cenla's best at Bricado's restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt-in-your-mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Bricado's restaurant. 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
Tired of noisy neighbors? Want to keep pets in and problems out? Sounds like you need a Promo fence. At Promo Fencing and Lawn Care, our fences don't just work, they wow. From classic cedar and pine privacy fences to durable chain link, sleek metal and aluminum, even decorative fencing. We've got something for every home, yard, or business, big or small, residential or commercial. All with free estimates, expert installs, and small town customer care. Promo Fencing and Lawn Care. Fences that feel like home.
Talk back. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK.
Yeah, somebody texted me to remind me that it usually costs about $3 million in the state to carry out a death penalty trial.
And this is one thing that might ruffle some feathers. I don't know. I'm not really concerned as a taxpayer about how much it costs to make sure that we provide justice appropriately.
Yeah.
You know, so that's...
I guess the question would be, should it cost that much? Should it have to cost that much?
I don't know. That's a little bit beyond my expertise.
Yeah.
I always get someone in here on that.
I always remember when they had the South Louisiana serial killer, when he was convicted, what was that year? Back in 2007, something like that. And the district attorney for, I think it was East Baton Rouge Parish, he's like, tonight, a jury convicted the South Louisiana serial killer and gave him Louisiana justice. And Louisiana justice is the death penalty. I'm trying to remember that guy's name. Somebody will remember it.
Not sure.
But all right, let's go back to the phones. Good morning. You're on Talkback.
What you're discussing about protecting the evil and ignoring and condemning the innocent, that's your basic Marxist nihilism at work. I wanted to point out, and maybe someone has already, about the deal with the politicians want to take away the Second Amendment rights from trans people.
Yes.
And people who are facing sexual mutilation.
Yes.
And guess who's defending them?
Right.
The NRA.
Right.
Generals of America.
Right.
But what the quandary is for the Marxists, they have to choose between the worst or the lesser of two evils. To them, one of the ultimate evils in the world is that God gave man the right to protect himself, to defend himself, and then they have to choose between what we consider an evil is sexual mutilation through disinformation, and so they have to make this choice. So it's hysterical. They have to defend the Second Amendment.
That is sort of an interesting twist. I saw somebody on Twitter post that. They said something like, Trump is going to make the left defend gun rights, which is sort of interesting.
Well, what's going on in the big cities is that the governments, the Democrats, the communists, they want people to be in fear, and they because they'll have to go into the camp of the government for protection, and surrender their rights when they do that. Yeah. That's the long range goal. So anyway, that's one man's opinion.
Well, we appreciate your opinion and always value it.
All right.
Thank you so much for that. I was just Derek Todd Lee is the guy that I was thinking of, who was the Baton Rouge serial killer, convicted over killing at least 7 women over 5 years, and he was facing the death penalty. But guess what? He died of a heart condition before they could carry that out.
It happens.
Yeah.
How long was he on death row?
Only about 6 years.
Well, we had a moment too where it was a nationwide thing too, with lethal injection drugs.
Yeah.
Unable to purchase them.
Right. And I saw there was a guy, I'm not sure what state he's in, but he doesn't want to be executed with the injection. He wants it to be a firing squad.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Was that Louisiana, maybe? Did I heard that? Was it Louisiana
Yeah, I
Radio
think
Network?
so. Yeah,
But
that was a while back.
Louisiana doesn't have like a current firing squad.
I don't think it's legal, is it?
I don't know. Now, that would be a weird thing to be
Didn't
a part
a state do that, though? Recent was it South Carolina? No.
No, it wasn't.
But I know they did the nitrous oxide.
There was a state that did
Alabama.
a firing squad recently.
Yeah. Or they legalized it. Alabama has the nitrous gas. Louisiana has it now, too. I think that's how that latest one was executed. With the nitrous gas.
What state uses a firing squad?
Or there was a bill to do it. I don't know if it passed.
It was Idaho, I think. March 7th.
Oh, South Carolina.
Yeah, that could be.
Are you seeing anything?
Yeah, it's so South Carolina preparing for the state's first firing squad.
Yeah.
Idaho also has it. Yeah.
Idaho, the Alabama of the Northwest.
It was March 7th. First inmate in South Carolina executed by a firing squad. It's got to be a weird feeling to be on a firing squad, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do that.
I don't think I would want to.
Defend, I mean...
What was it, Game of Thrones? If you can't swing the sword, you shouldn't be able to do it in the first place. So, Al, if you can't swing the sword, I guess we got to take death penalty off the menu.
Of course, I don't know.
All right.
Think about that long and hard.
I got you.
All right. Nathan,
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenla Broadcasting.